So that's what I said in the beginning. So I was considering this motorcycle to be my own motorcycle and using it, comparing with all other motorcycles which I've ridden in the past in the 150cc as well as some off-road motorcycles in the 200cc and the 400cc. What's up YouTube, welcome back to the Honda CB200X detailed review. So at least this time I hope I'm not late for the review. The brand new Honda CB200X. So I've been riding this motorcycle for quite long, something like around 300 kilometers by now, and yeah, I got a lot of good news as well as bad news for you guys. So in my opinion, if you're planning to buy this motorcycle and decided that this is your motorcycle, you don't have any other option, go ahead, buy it, no problem. It's a good motorcycle. But if you're confused with this bike, with some other bike, stay with the video. I have some news for you. By the way, I assume that I'm owning this motorcycle and I'm comparing this motorcycle with the other motorcycle which I've ridden in the past and all, especially the Himalayan, the Express and other 150cc's, 200cc motorcycle. Then I've came up with the conclusion, this video. So yes, let's go in the generic way. So first of all, look at the styling. This thing actually is inspired from, not just inspired, this thing is basically the adventure fared version of the Honda 2.0. But in fact, I have to say that this thing is a huge motorcycle. Look at that, the front section, the beak and everything looks so huge. Basically, Honda has successfully tried hiding that this is inspired from the Honda 2.0 with that kind of a shroud. It actually gives a slight feel of the Honda CB500X and all. So what basically it is it just the looks? No, few other changes also are there. So basically in the looks department, it's a huge motorcycle. See that, one of the biggest 200cc motorcycle, that's what I'll say. Technically this is not a 200cc, it's a 184cc. So on this one, I have to say that after putting this much plastic and all, Honda successfully eliminated all the vibration. But onto the body with the new plastics and all, there is absolutely no refinement issue. So the work on the plastic and the build quality, everything is excellent. So what you see over here is the golden upside down forks, which you have seen with the Hornet as well, but that hasn't got any travel difference. And very nice paint scheme, I really love it. This is something what Honda does it good. So I'll give it 10 by 10 for the sticker work and the body work that Honda has done on this motorcycle. And coming on to this section now, you can see the Honda 2.0 things like the engine, the seat, the exhaust. But the seat is actually different from the Hornet. From a looks point of view, it almost feels same, but it has slight differences compared to the Hornet. And this motorcycle get actually 50/50 tires, which is good for off-road as well as road purpose. One good thing is like the integrated indicators you see over there, and it's neatly placed. It's very functional. These things are not flimsy. Build quality is excellent. So yeah, let's see the seat. So the seat is actually wide, so it has a tapered edge over here, so you can sit comfortably. The seat feels slightly taller than the Hornet. The pillion seat is also very comfortable, really cushiony. No vibrations, nothing to the seat, absolutely comfortable. And for the pillion seat, you have a wide grab rail. So hopping onto the motorcycle, it's not a too tall motorcycle. I have almost flat foot on both sides, no problem. And from this angle, it really feels like an adventure motorcycle or an off-road motorcycle. So to walk through all the switches on the handlebar, what you see over here is the pass switch, the high beam and the low beam, the turn indicators, the horn, and you have a knuckle protector on both sides with the integrated indicators. And on this side, you have the kill switch, the caution lamp switch, and the ignition. That's all, very basic. And turning on the key, this is the same dash that we have seen on the Honda 2.0, and that's slightly disappointing. Honestly, I have to say that, because with this price point, this doesn't get any USB charger or a Bluetooth connectivity or any other gimmicks. I really don't say gimmicks, those are useful things now, because all basic motorcycles are coming with many other features. So what you see over here is the tachometer, the speedometer, 2 trip meters, odometer, time, the fuel level indicator, gear position indicator. That's all. There is no trip calculation, no distance to empty, no Bluetooth connectivity, no side stand indicator, no side stand sensor, absolutely nothing like that. So for the price what you pay, you get very less in terms of electronics and those kind of packages. So absolutely I have to admit that Honda has done a really nice job in making this engine, because it's more refined, it's very nice to ride as well. We'll hear the exhaust sound. It's quiet and absolutely carry no vibration to the seat. Even at red lines, even in the 5th gear also, there is no vibration. That's the one thing which impressed me the most. So let's go for a ride. So if you're thinking that I was doing off-roading here, not really. This is not that a great off-roader. Any 150cc motorcycle can do the same amount of off-road that this motorcycle can do, mainly because it lacks suspension travel. The suspension has to be reworked a lot. This is a road-tuned suspension. There is only ABS in the front, so the rear wheel you can slide and have a lot of fun. But yeah, as I mentioned, you can do that with any other 150cc motorcycle. So let's hit the road. Yeah, we have a comparatively open road here. So the engine is basically very stress-free. Even though you hear a lot of sound from the engine is actually very stress-free. It runs on a 5-speed gearbox, and I really don't feel that we need a 6th gear because the 5th gear is not that choppy and all. You can comfortably cruise in the 5th gear itself. The engine has actually got a decent low end torque, and the mid-range is really nice. Coming onto the top end, it doesn't fade away. So altogether, this engine does a decent job. So since I talk about the engine, let me talk about the sponsor of this video, the Castrol Power One Ultimate. You might be knowing that I'm using the same oil for my own motorcycle, the Honda CBR650R. So basically, this motorcycle runs on 10W30 oil, and Castrol has fully synthetic oil, 10W40 with 5-in-1 synthetic technology. So if you're someone who is looking to change an engine oil to a better engine oil, which gives you a good performance and good refinement and less heating problems, definitely consider switching into Castrol Power One Ultimate. You'll start finding the difference. So let's come back to the details of the motorcycle. So the max what I could do on this motorcycle is something like 129 km/h, which is like I got a very open road with some slant. That's why it picked up that speed. Otherwise, what I'll say is that it reaches 100 pretty easy in the 4th gear, and after that it starts climbing, and 115 is something the max for any rider. After that it really climbs 120 and all. It takes some time. But what it amazed me is, in all these speeds, in any rev ranges, this motorcycle is like rock solid from engine side. The feedback from the engine is like an electric motorcycle, because you'll only feel the chain, the road and all these things. There's absolutely no vibration. So Honda has done a really great job with the engine. But let's come to the other points, leaving the engine for now. So you have a very lighter clutch, which is easy to use, and the gearbox is like absolutely brilliant. Crisp shift, you won't be having any problem with the shifting. And when it comes to the brakes, I'll say that this motorcycle unfortunately comes with a single channel ABS. With the price point and with the kind of performance and the usage this can do, I would expect a dual channel ABS with an ABS toggling switch. On the other side, we have no ABS on the rear wheel, so consider it to be an off-road motorcycle and you can go around and have some fun. So let's talk about the suspension. This motorcycle is called the Honda CB200X. So I assume this X series is for off-roading motorcycle, because when you have this X, I'd expect the motorcycle to do better off-roading. But this motorcycle is just doing what a 150cc or a 200cc motorcycle can do. You can do this with any other motorcycle. The one better part is the handlebar is actually a little raised and towards the body of the rider. So yes, you have a comfortable ergonomics, and the footpegs are now raised. It is underneath the rider. Well, that didn't make a motorcycle which has an X tag to be an off-road going motorcycle, because the suspension is not holding it up well for off-roads. But for road use, it is okay. Sliding is fun, but I'm slightly disappointed with the suspension. Suspension is not actually set for off-roads. It is good for roads. So in my opinion, they would have named this motorcycle Honda CB200F. F means it's a road version, touring friendly motorcycle. So now we are on the road, and let's talk about the good parts of the suspension. The suspension is actually, the front suspension is actually set to a softer side. The rear one is also kind of medium set. So that means for road use, it is good. And now talking about other things, the tires. The tire is actually good, dual purpose tire. It is good for cornering, I mean medium cornering, and pretty decent for the city use and minor off-roads as well. And coming on to the other things like heating and all, absolutely no heating with the engine. And ground clearance, yes, again, this has two parts when you call this motorcycle as a 200X. So the 200X has little ground clearance problem when you take it to the off-road. If I would like to call it as the 200F, there is no ground clearance problem. It is kind of okay. Now coming on to the ownership things of the motorcycle. This motorcycle actually comes for 1,83,000 on road Bangalore. So the Honda 2.0 is 1,70,000, and this one is 1,83,000, which is 30,000 more than the Hornet, where you get a lot of things like the fairing, a better seat, a little more comfortable ergonomics, you have raised handlebars. So all these things are actually value for money for that 13k gap. And like any other Honda motorcycle, this motorcycle goes for service once in 6,000 kilometers for paid services, and it will cost you something like 1,500. Basically, Honda motorcycles are easy to maintain, pocket friendly. There will be less parts changes and all unless you really abuse the vehicle. So maintenance wise, it is much cheaper compared to other vehicles. And I was riding this motorcycle in pitch dark as well. So to talk about the headlight, the throw of the headlight is not that great because it's an LED unit and the LED is not that powerful. So it's better to have auxiliary lamps if you are planning to take this motorcycle for serious touring. So now let's come to the verdict. Should you buy this motorcycle? So that's what I said in the beginning. So I was considering this motorcycle to be my own motorcycle and using it, comparing with all other motorcycles which I've ridden in the past in the 150cc as well as some off-road motorcycles in the 200cc and the 400cc. So if you plan to buy a good motorcycle for your city use and you want good road presence, absolutely great motorcycle because you can handle it well. The ergonomics is nice, really nice. And if you want a tour on this motorcycle, again, very nice motorcycle. Considering that it's a 184cc, cruising at 80 km/h is not at all a bad thing. Even if you want to cruise at the top end of 115, there is no refinement issue, so you can use it as a touring machine. But when it comes to off-roads, yeah, that's where it disappoints me a lot. So if you are confused with an X-Pulse, what I will say is that if you're truly onto off-roading, if you really love to off-road, go for X-Pulse itself. If you're someone who's onto 50-50, like you want to do highway touring and off-roading, I'll say that compromise on the off-road part and get this one. Or flip side, or compromise on your highway touring comfort because X-Pulse seat is not that great. So you have to compromise somewhere. So it's your pick. Either you wanted to give more importance to the highway tours or to the off-roads. Because personally, I believe Honda could have done wonders on this motorcycle. I don't really expect Honda to bring in a 6 gear on this motorcycle or put in the 300cc engine on that. Just some minor modification like longer suspension travel and a different sprocket would have changed this motorcycle to an entire different level. It would have eaten up a lot of market of the X-Pulse. Certainly Honda didn't do that. They wanted to make this motorcycle as road going, but they put the X-Stack. That's the only one problem which I see with this motorcycle. Absolutely, I'm so astonished to see a motorcycle which doesn't have any vibration in any rev band. They are truly good in making engines, gearboxes and all, but why don't you work on the suspension? I got little disappointed. And for the price tag of 1,84,000, you really get other motorcycles for this price tag if you are just looking for a street motorcycle. So that's my review on the Honda CB200X. I hope you liked this video, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.